and then in my head had an argument with my cousin. He wasn't there. I had an argument with a fake cousin in my head about what kind of tree it was. I'm like, I have to find out what this is. Really?
Hey, this is Tim.
Oh, are we starting now?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Did you have to do the thing with the 3, 2?
He said he wanted a countdown.
Did you ask for a countdown? I'm sorry. I know it's a great start.
Oh,
right?
Sorry, Seth. This is how every
This is
single
literally our
episode
shtick.
that you just gave away that you don't really listen to our podcast.
Oh, Seth.
Sorry.
It's true. Oh, we talked to Andy when he's not there.
Hey,
This is
Tim,
Justin.
and you are listening to or potentially watching
What the heck?
One Good Story.
This is a weird moment to have with this thing.
the podcast.
How are we doing this? I don't have my phone on me to scroll while you're talking.
That was actually the main reason we went to Three Cams. I went to Seth and I said, "Hey, can you make up a reason that for Justin not to be able to have his phone on him?"
I think is the hockey. I can't watch the hockey now while you're
cannot
talking.
watch the hockey. Hey guys, so
I might be a Bible
obviously
scholar
this
now.
is a little bit different than what we normally do.
We don't know what we're doing.
This is our first attempt ever at recording a video podcast.
And we use attempt very lightly here. We're trying.
Yeah, so
We're trying to attempt.
because of that, we are joined by Seth, who is sitting. Andy's not here, but Seth is here.
No, Andy is here. Andy's always here. Right here. I don't have to say my heart. They could see it. I slap my chest.
The 4 people who end up watching.
You know
it,
what? I'll make it 5.
But
I'll watch
the
it
people
too.
who are listening will not.
Yeah, you know what?
Get your visual signals.
It's all good.
Anyway, so Seth very kindly has joined us and helped us set up some cameras so that we can record a visual aspect of this podcast. And the reason we're doing that right now is because this is our 100th episode of One Good Story.
So it's like Technicolor. When the TV turned, Technicolor, it's the big day.
it's like when Dorothy lands in Oz.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on. I got a question about that. Maybe Seth knows the answer to this question. Is it, was that color TV? I think 1940,
1939 was The Wizard of Oz.
Was it 39?
Yes.
My dad was born that year. Anyway.
Mazel tov.
Yep.
So in 1939, but you would have had to have had a color TV.
They had color TVs then? I thought it was in the 50s it switched over to color. Was that television that switched over?
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe cinema was already getting some color.
That I don't know.
That
so
would
I
make
do
sense.
know. So yeah, if you watched The Wizard of Oz on your TV and you had a black and white TV, then it would not be all that.
Right.
The unveiling would not be as, I guess,
shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. I've always wondered that. Timeline, that'd be, I don't understand the timeline of TV, apparently. You just shot that off your hip, though.
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz, 1939, boom! How did you know that so well?
It's just a bit of trivia, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not a Wizard of Oz fanatic or anything.
That could be argued.
Could it?
Apparently. You do represent the Lollipop Guild.
I represent.
Represent.
You went like French there for a half second.
It is my last name.
Roll.
I can hold it.
Okay.
Anyway,
well,
hockey's on.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're here to talk about today. So, guys, thank you for joining us. If you have been listening for the past 4 years and previous 99 episodes,
we commend you. Thank you.
We commend you, and we apologize.
Both. Yep.
But we're grateful that you stuck around. We just wanted kind of to reminisce a little bit, talk about why we started the podcast in the first place, and talk about maybe what our favorite thing has been that we've enjoyed doing on the podcast, like favorite series or whatever.
Favorite thing sounds like something my 4-year-old would ask me. What's your favorite thing? Pizza.
Yeah, well, that's not a bad choice.
No, it's a great choice. But anyway.
Yeah, and just see where it goes from there. Maybe a couple. Well, I guess one of the announcements has already been made. We're doing a video podcast.
And it's in Technicolor. Also,
so.
Tim, my old job has always been to derail you. I don't know how to do it in video. I can still talk and just derail you there, but I feel like
it kind of gives the game away.
Yeah.
Now that everyone can see you doing the things that you're doing.
Yeah. What is the game?
So you trying to derail me.
Yeah.
So previously people could only hear me stammering and didn't know it was because you were doing
things.
wildly odd
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
in the background.
But
now
I
there will
can't
be
move though. This is I'm very
boxed in.
very limited in like my creative outlets. I might need a room to myself.
It's kind of funny because we've expanded our creative outlet by putting it on video, and yet you find it more limiting.
Well, because the cameras can't move with me.
The perils of modern technology.
Yeah. So
if you're watching, you may look over and see our decor here.
Yep. Took me all of 3 minutes.
There were plans for this to be a bookshelf and have some
There's a book.
artwork on the walls.
Yeah. We're getting there. We haven't done it yet. We will.
Yeah,
We
this
will.
was
I don't know which camera to look
this
at.
is kind of what you just
I'm like, you. I can't. I don't know.
that makes me think of the YouTube show Hot Ones, the
that's a good one.
podcast, because at the end he always goes, this camera, this camera,
Oh,
this
that's
camera.
right. He does
Let
say
the
that.
people know what you got going on in your life.
Yeah. What is going on in your life, Tim?
Yeah, sadly, this is the chaos that is always how our podcast goes. Just so
This is why it takes a whole hour for Tim to get a 15-minute Bible lesson out.
that should absolutely be the tagline
Yeah.
for our
15 minutes
podcast.
of
It's like
Bible.
come listen for an hour while Tim gets a 15-minute Bible story.
Tim gets mildly infuriated while he gives a 15-minute Bible lesson that should take only 15 minutes, but here we are at an hour and a half.
Yeah. So Justin decided to decorate, since we didn't quite have everything ready the way we wanted, with a 5-gallon bucket,
No, yes.
a small book about trees,
Yeah, it's an identifier. Yep.
a
American trees.
jug of Vermont maple syrup,
That's pretty old, that one.
a pretty generic desk lamp, and a figurine,
I think she's churning butter.
what looks to be an indigenous woman churning butter.
I think she's churning butter, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's,
You didn't have to draw attention to it.
no, it was there. I felt like that was the best way to. Sometimes when things happen, I feel like you just got to lean all the way into it.
Elephant in the room kind of thing, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
you disarm it
gotcha.
immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. And Tim gave me a hard time before we started because I hadn't changed out of my hunting gear. And so we'll talk about hunting for a second here. I was sitting in a tree stand tonight before we came here tonight. And I had a hard time identifying the tree that I was in. And then in my head, had an argument with my cousin. He wasn't there. I had an argument with a fake cousin in my head about what kind of tree it was. I'm like, I have to find out what this is. Because it's kind of a thing we have. Me and my cousin, we hunt. We always argue about one thing.
Okay.
And it could be like the name of a street. It could be a tree identifier, or like the wind. What's the best place to sit? And the tree got to me, and I'm like, I got to know what tree this is before I actually have the real conversation with my cousin, and I can argue it out and be like, this is what it is. Still don't know what the tree is, though. I haven't figured it out. I think it might be beach, but I'm not sure which beach.
That's a really disappointing end to that
I know,
story.
right? I'm still disappointed in myself for the same reason you are.
You think it's in that book?
Yeah, no, it's a North American tree for sure. Yeah. Never mind. Anyway, so
it turns out it's bamboo.
no, that's. But no, because here's the thing. The tree, it was really cool because like the rain was hitting the tree, and it's such a smooth bark,
Okay.
Cambrium, that like water was like a small waterfall on my back. Like you could see it. It was like this like water's just kind of glistening down
Like behind your back or on your back?
on my back. So I'm leaning against the tree.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
you're
like,
just
so I
getting
felt it,
soaking
and
wet.
it was just going into my shirt, and I'm like, this is the most awful tree to hunt at. Like, why am I even here? And then I got off, and then I changed all my clothes, and I was dry, and then I went in a blind and said, this is way better. And then it rained a lot more, and I didn't see any deer really.
Wow.
But my wife came over to hang out with me in the blind, though. That was kind of fun. We talked about bills and
Buffalo Bills?
no, it was not fun when we talked about bills, but
Yeah. It rarely is.
yeah, I spent a lot of money building a room for this one moment and one good story.
That is one good
Anyway,
story, Justin.
It was a good story, Tim. So we're here.
We're here. So
You give the preamble.
yeah, so I think just briefly, so in 2021, actually, I take that back. In the beginning of 2020,
Before
I came to you and asked you
Vid.
if you would help me record a Bible study series that we were doing.
Yeah.
Because COVID had just started.
the vid.
And
Not allowed to say COVID.
What?
Apparently, on YouTube, they demonetize you and take stuff away. I'm not sure if it's still a thing, but if you said the word COVID, it's a key word. They'll like kick you off.
Okay. Can
Is
I
that
say
right, Seth? I've
coronavirus?
heard that before. Okay. Anyway.
That sounds like. Never mind.
Anyway.
Anyway, before the pandemic, or as the pandemic began,
the virus.
We had just started a Bible study series at church, and then we weren't going to be able to meet in person. And so I asked you if you would help me record the Bible study series.
Yep.
And I didn't want to just like sit in front of a mic and talk by myself. And I still don't desire to do that.
I would never allow that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And so I asked you to just kind of, go back and forth dialogue with me through these lessons or whatever that we were doing at the time. And so we started recording them. And I think we got through them or whatever. And then, I think then lockdown really went into effect and we
were neighbors. So it was great.
Yeah.
Worked well.
It did work out pretty well. But then at some point, I just thought this could be an ongoing thing. This could be a fun way to kind of continue talking and just a creative outlet that I thought would be fun to pursue. I'm just super passionate about Bible stories. I realized that at some point, I get to preach probably 10-ish times a year. And I found that I really enjoy just telling Bible stories more than I enjoy breaking down the letters or sections of discourse or talking about, current events and trying to link those to passages in the Bible. And I approached you about it. You were on board because you are usually on board.
Man.
You're a yes guy. Yeah.
Hey.
You'd be great at improv. You're a yes and kind of guy.
I don't know. We'll try it sometime.
Yes and.
But I have a question for you. I think you should, as you age, try to take on the persona when you're at church, when you're telling a story. Like make it like we're all kids, and you sit on like a big chair.
Oh, kind of a Mr. Rogers feel.
Kinda. You should.
Like an armchair with like a pipe in my mouth.
Yeah. Get rid of the whole millennial vibe, and you'll be great.
Get rid of the whole millennial vibe. I am a millennial.
I know, but just get rid of it. It's fine. You don't need it.
I mean, don't you think that the millennial vibe will change as millennials age?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not going to talk about that.
Anyway.
I think we're the last people who should be talking about millennial.
I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just telling you to not wear a hoodie. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's never going to happen. I've been wearing hoodies since I was like 14, and I'm now
most
almost
millennials
40.
have. You're right. Yeah.
So
it's kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
even this is like tonight. I was like, we're gonna do a camera. I should wear a nice hoodie.
Yeah.
So,
does your wife get sick of that? By the way, of hoodies.
If she does, she has not been honest with me about it.
Okay, so she's fine.
She does laugh at me when she's always like, "Oh, another hoodie," and she just laughs.
Got it. So she gets the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. But that's why I asked. Is like, if it's like, do you ever not wear hoodies?
I don't wear a hoodie to work.
Is it like an emotional support hoodie thing going on?
It kind of, there's just something very comforting about it to me. Yeah. Like when I get done with work, I go home and I put on a hoodie. If it's warmer outside, it's like basically a hooded t-shirt.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or a long sleeve t-shirt.
Hoodies are cozy. They're nice.
And if it's cold, it's more like a sweater with a hood.
Like a really weak hug.
Weak hug.
You know what I mean? Like a really weak, like, I'm here. That's what I feel about it. Well, I took that from someone else's joke about turtlenecks, how they feel like they're just slowly and very gently strangling you your whole day. I don't know who said that.
I used to wear turtlenecks as a kid.
I'm not surprised.
Hey, I don't know what that is implicating.
Nothing. I'm just saying I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're here.
How are we doing, Seth? How are you feeling about everything so far? Great.
Are you having fun, Seth? Of course. Are you enjoying this banter?
Yeah.
Or like, is it good banter?
It is good banter.
Seth is our
The guy that you can't hear knocking.
No, they can hear you.
It picks it up.
It picks it up.
You're quiet, but it picks it up.
And he didn't say anything. I'd ask him questions. He just look at me.
He would nod.
He would nod.
Or shake his head.
He'd just smile approvingly.
And then, because he always regretted it when he did say something, because we'd be like, what was that, Andy? Andy, you want to get on camera? You want to get on the phone? Or
I think
microphone?
he actually did say like something on one episode. Like I put a mic in his face and he said something.
Mm-hmm. That was an achievement.
It was like, yep.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway.
So
Andy.
so the Bible is one good story. That was kind of the premise for this entire
Many good
podcast.
stories.
Many good stories that make up one good story.
One good story.
So the name of the podcast kind of plays off of both those ideas.
Yeah.
Number one, that the Bible from beginning to end, the story of God creating the world and creating a good world, and then stepping in to rescue that world and restore that world and using us as part of that restoration is a good story.
Yeah.
And within that good story are a myriad number of little good stories.
Yes. Pieces
So
and parts of the other stories.
yeah, and so we have our first series that we went through, we took that big picture and kind of went all the way through it for I think 24 episodes.
Yep.
To go all the way through like the big meta narrative of the Bible.
What would Cedarville call that? If they were doing it was a survey? Was it basically a survey of the Bible?
Yeah, you could call it
Kinda.
that for sure.
It was our little survey.
Yeah,
of the
it was. I think I broke it into 12 parts and then did 12 sections and then did a part 1 and part 2 of each of those sections.
I kind of remember that.
It was a long time ago at this point.
It was 4 years ago.
It was 4 years ago in July was when we released them, or we released the first 5 in July of 2021. We recorded. I think we started recording in like April.
Yeah,
of that year.
It was
So
it was like because March is when the virus hit, and then
that was the previous year.
oh, because that was 21.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
So this is as things were starting to kind of lighten up.
That's
and,
right. That's right. Yeah.
So, yeah, we did that whole series, and then since then we've been doing a whole lot of just talking about all the little stories. So we've done a series on like Jesus telling stories, so the parables. We went through like 10 or 12. Yeah, we did a character studies of like prophets, priests, and kings.
That's right.
We did a whole series called Weird Stories.
That was my favorite series. We should keep doing that for the rest of time.
Yeah, there's kind of a large number of weird stories in the Bible. So
Kids,
we definitely-
hermeneutics.
we definitely
That's
didn't-
why.
we definitely didn't exhaust those. So
No.
we could definitely revisit that.
Are you a shepherd boy in the middle of Israel back 2,000 years ago? Then you not understand some of these stories. Anyway.
I think some of the stories are supposed to be weird even for their intended audience.
Sure. But not as weird as they are now.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of what, if you've never listened to us before, a lot of time we spend in the podcast is putting those stories in their context.
Yeah.
In order to try and make some sense of them.
You do that part. That's your job, Tim.
Yeah, I think sometimes you ask questions that
do.
kind of helps frame it.
Do I sometimes lead, though? Do I do some leading sometimes, Tim? Would you say that I teach?
I don't know that I would say
loaded
you like
question.
take the lead. So when we did the series where we interviewed friends of ours, you took the lead on several of those episodes.
On interviewing people, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
But I don't remember. Did
I'm just
did
being
we do
self-conscious
some
right now.
episodes where you like
Yeah,
legitimately?
we have. No, we have.
Okay,
I remember.
it's been a long time since we've
Yeah.
actually sat down and gone through a whole series.
It's been rough.
Yeah. Do you want to talk life
I don't care.
update? I have,
Oh,
but
oh,
this is my.
we should. We
this
should.
is my tea because I have a sore throat, so I'm trying to make sure my voice doesn't give out.
Sorry, guys, if you get sick, that's why.
That's funny. Andrea hates it when I do that.
What?
Well, she tells a joke and I say that's funny instead of laughing. She gets so mad at me.
Yeah, yeah. But was it funny?
It was funny, yeah.
There you go, see?
But she says like the way I do it makes it seem like I'm surprised that I think what she said is funny.
Oh, yeah. it's
which makes her
the way
very
you say
upset.
is very belittling. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like when
it's-
Seth says correct. I hate it so much when he does that. I love him to pieces, but my gosh, I want to stab him in the toe every time he does it.
Stab him in the toe.
Well, I have a sharp object in my hand. That's the first thing
Oh,
I
okay.
thought of. Anyway, yeah, life update, Tim. So Tim has 14 children now.
We're gonna do each other's updates.
Pretty much. No,
Yeah.
no, yeah. We hang on. We started our foster care journey. What? Oh, that's fine. This is a screensaver.
Okay. I didn't know that was gonna
We
kick
started
it
our
off.
foster care journey. There is a clothespin there. Our foster care journey this last year,
Mm-hmm.
and did all the training to become licensed foster parents and potential adoptive parents for children in need. So we had so far 2 separate placements. One was a little boy, He's great. He was with us for 10 days. We were told 6 months, and then 10 days later, he's going to mom. And I was like, okay, cool. But then we got placed with the 2 other children, and I'm not going to name names,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Because foster world is, I don't want to even get close to the line.
Sure.
I'm sure I could probably say more about what I'm saying, but and these kiddos, they had a lot of medical needs, and it's been a wild trip. They're twins, I'll say that much. But yeah, it's been a wild journey with them. They've been amazing, and it's been fun to watch those kids kind of blossom.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, like, so when we started the podcast in 2021,
4 years ago.
Yeah. So you had 2 kids.
2 kids. Yeah.
And you lived on South Fountain.
Yep.
And now you have 4 biological children
And
2 foster children and live out here in
the green room.
Yeah, in the green room.
As they all can see. It's a green room.
Yeah. Well, they won't see because we're going to turn it into like, there's going to be like Ben-Hur or something in the background. Like,
we should do that every single podcast.
which would be really funny, like if, because of the like trees book right
Just
here.
sitting
And then,
here.
the trees book's here. And then Ben-Hur's riding a chariot.
Right.
behind
Well,
it.
yeah, we should do Ben-Hur every time. The credits for Ben-Hur should roll somewhere in our podcast every episode. Seth, can you make it happen?
Sure.
There's a bit of a pause there, Seth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hesitation. Are you watching the game?
No.
Oh, dang it.
I might have had the word insert chariot behind your head.
Seriously? Oh, I love that. See, this is perfect. Okay. Thanks.
Wow, I didn't even know you could do that stuff.
He's good. He's
I
really
believe
good. Yeah. We got the best audio guy and the best visual guy there is.
Who we're not like
our-
compensating in any way whatsoever.
Nope. I have less money for this podcast.
Well, that's definitely true.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah.
So yeah, but like that's part of this journey. Like it's something that we started and we were doing a lot of it, and then life has been like the last couple. I mean,
Years.
this is episode 100, and I think we probably did 75 of them in the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
It's been, since I moved here, it's been hard.
Yes,
And I think the biggest thing was we realized once my family moved here that there was like no place to do the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
There was no like defined
space for
it. And so the thought was like, let's just go ahead and build a room and maybe do some camera work and figure that out. And it was like, I didn't know how much time I needed to set aside.
Yeah.
And then life happened. We had 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 biological children since, well, one of them was very young when we moved away from our old house.
Yeah.
Then we had another child here.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
now
it's
you
been
have 2
wild,
placed
man.
here. Yeah.
And then, so no excuses. It's just, I've been wanting to do it for a while. And it's just, now we can finally, I feel like we're finally, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It's exciting to be in this room, knowing like how much time and energy and even just mental like
Oh yeah.
energy went into like thinking about this room and putting it together.
Yeah.
And, and all the work you did. I hardly did anything
Tim, you painted.
for it. Oh yeah, I painted. I think I helped
did some
you hang
drywall.
some drywall.
Yeah. Did you do the doors with me? You didn't do the doors. I did the doors.
No, I don't think I did the doors.
But they turned out good. They're 2 different colors, I've realized. Same stain, different 2. I didn't know what I was doing.
That's all right.
I know why it did that, and I'm now.
We don't have to talk about the
Anyway,
doors. They're
sorry,
off
yeah,
camera.
yeah,
so
yeah. They don't know. What they don't know don't hurt them. Just like the.
So-
anyway.
yeah. So do you have a favorite thing that we have? Like you said, the weird stories, I guess.
Oh, dude.
You want to
weird stories.
elaborate on that a little bit at all? Like just what you enjoyed, like why you enjoyed it, or if there was a specific one that particularly.
I think I'm the most engaged when we do Bible, when it's asking hard questions and there's no defined answer.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure it out together. Because I feel like a lot of times when we do like the Beatitudes or when we go to say any of Paul's teachings, like they're pretty plainly said.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a big question. Blessed are the merciful, right? I can put my conceptualize that pretty quickly.
Sure.
And probably did when I was really young too, because it, But the weird stories gave us a place to pause, and something that Michael Heiser would say a lot of was like, if you find something in the Bible that makes you question what the heck's going on, that's where you start digging, and then you'll start finding so much more richness of the scriptures when you get to those hard points. I guess Marty Solomon would talk about this with chiasms, right? Like he'd have this.
Yeah.
It would be like the story would kind of develop, and then you could fold it back, and you could see the center. You'd know, oh, that's the point. You know.
Yep.
I think it takes some work to do that, and I feel like a lot of Bible lessons we've heard a lot. Some of them we could probably question the way they were taught and say that's probably not right, and probably go back to those. And that'd be a fun series. Actually, I thought about that recently. It was like going to old Bible lessons and being like, was that really what they're saying here? Because it sounds like this is what we say to ourselves here in Western Christianity, but like, what does a Coptic Christian say? What does a Russian Orthodox say? Like, we don't know. We haven't asked those questions as much. Or what did the church fathers say about specifically this?
Yeah.
And so Weird Stories kind of opened that up for me. I was the most engaged personally with Weird Stories, like because I felt like I had something to contribute because I could ask good questions.
Yeah. I feel very similarly about that in the sense that there was a point in my life where, you know, I grew up in a church that really studied like Pauline epistles. Like that was like the thing that you talked about. And you really like, if you didn't understand like something that happened in the Gospels with Jesus, you would go to Paul's epistles and like, basically, and you would let that inform the way you understood what was happening in those stories rather than necessarily letting like, oh, the Gospel of Matthew is telling a very specific story. Let's let Matthew actually, if we read all of his gospel, that makes sense within it. But using Paul's theology to try and understand it doesn't really, I mean, he's not the guy who wrote it. The person who wrote it actually probably has an idea.
But John might know more about what John wrote than what. Yeah.
But so because of that, like there's been tons of stories that I was always like, this is confusing.
Yeah.
And I would like avoid those if I was going to be teaching or something because I was like, well, I don't want to teach about something that I don't really understand. But what I found is those are by far the most rewarding things to teach because I end up spending so much time in it and getting caught up in it and learning about it that it was like, oh, wow, I'm learning something entirely new about the way God has revealed himself to us or the way we are revealed in front of God because I chose to dig deep into this passage.
Yeah.
And once it did, there actually is an answer there. There actually are reasons that it makes sense. And whereas before I just hadn't taken the time to think through it because first off the top, like 21st century American that doesn't really have the conceptual framework built in to know what this would mean.
Right.
Without, taking a deeper look.
Yeah.
Listening to what other people have said about it.
And the beauty of that is like just going more what you're saying. I find when like, okay, let's say there's a scripture like Psalm 23 when I was younger was like for some reason, or Psalm 24, was it Psalm 23? Psalm
23 is the Lord is my shepherd.
Yeah. So Psalm, I went back to the interlinear Bible and I translated word for word how I was like, oh, that's this word. Even though I'm not a Hebrew scholar, I'm not going to be like, this is perfect. This is probably, but like just for me, like, how do I describe what's going on? And I translated the whole thing. I've got it written somewhere. And it came out wonky as heck. But, like, it gave me a lot to think about. Because it's like, that word has 15 meanings. You know, like, let's look through all those meanings and kind of see what they all... And every time I go back to those, I'll, like, stumble upon that, like, translation. It wasn't even the whole thing. It was, like, 8 verses of it. And I remember, like, reading through it again, like, whoa! Like... Let me go back to that. And I'll go back and study it when I have time, which these days I don't. But I'll study it and I'll find it like a whole new perspective on it, right? And because that culture, there's been thousands of years, but since between now and then, and at the time there was thousands of years of language history, in that where they had the history of the people, and so their language is already rich. When this is being written, So then so every time you go back, you're unfolding more. You can't not unfold. Like you're never going to get to the end of the well. It's always going to be, there's always going to be water back at the well. And that's why I like digging so much is like, you've dug for years. You've discovered these things, these revelations for yourself. I've discovered different, because my brain's different revelations than you have maybe. And there's a lot more still left over.
Yeah. Well, that's so much of what the stories can be so disarming because we all, you know, when something just says, do not kill, do not steal, do not lie, those, like you said, those are straightforward commands and you can quibble about necessarily, okay, does kill mean murder? Does
kill,
include self-defense? And that kind of thing. But really, it's pretty strict, but a story, like you end up finding yourself in it.
Yeah.
In a way. And because of that, you might take something away entirely different what somebody else does, and that's not necessarily to say that someone is understanding it wrong. I heard a story once. I don't remember who I heard this from or where I read it, but it was talking about 3 different sets of pastors talking about their interpretation of the prodigal son.
So 3 different pastors or 3 different sets of pastors?
Sets of pastors. So like Western pastors,
got it. Yep.
Russian pastors, and African pastors. And there's a question over, like, the question was, why did the prodigal son go hungry in the story? And the Western pastors said, because he disobeyed his father and he ran away, or because he spent all of his father's inheritance on riotous living. So
I've
he had no
heard
money
that
left.
sermon.
The Russian pastor said it's because there was a famine. Like, the reason he was hungry is because there was a famine in the land. And the African pastor said the reason he was hungry is because no one in the community fed him. No one came to feed him.
Yeah.
But like, all 3 of them read the exact same story.
Yep.
And like had very different answers to that question, because they're coming from a different place. And it has nothing to do with who's reading the Bible right.
Yeah.
As much as it has to do with the stuff we bring with us.
Yeah.
And sometimes the stuff we bring with us is like what we need to deal with when we get to the text. And sometimes the stories have a way of disarming that stuff and helping us peel it back and understanding, especially when we can get someone with a different perspective to read the story.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh my gosh, they like are seeing an entirely different thing here.
Yeah.
Which was what was really cool about the series we did, where we interviewed people, because we asked each of them to bring like their own favorite Bible story to the podcast, and then they got to share with us. And
which, by the way, we actually do have a small list that's growing of our next batch of interviews.
Yeah, so we've got Weird Stories Revisited. We've got more interviews to do.
I think the interviews could fold into Weird Stories, though. Personally, I think we could be like, hey, like, we'll have a docket of weird stories and kind of go and say, all right, these people.
Yeah, you want to pick one of these and help us work through it.
Help us work through it. I think that we could get really interesting conversations from that, but who knows? I don't know. You will. I'll just kind of banter in the back, eat my cheese and crackers.
Just to derail the conversation. I feel like you were far less mischievous when we had guests present.
Oh no! Yeah, I'm gonna act right with people when we have guests in the home.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm not that. I'm comfortable right now.
Would you, if we had a prestigious guest?
Oh,
would you wear those pants?
Probably.
Yeah.
No, I probably, like, if you had like give me a prestigious guest possibility.
I don't want to drop a name.
Kenny Ronk.
We've had Kenny Ronk on the podcast
several times. Jason Channels, he's prestigious, right?
We've had Jason on the podcast.
Yeah, no, those are all local people we know. Some of you guys don't even know these people. I do know there's some people going to be watching this that are not from Ohio, and that's kind of fun to think about.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've actually gone and looked at the statistical breakdown, but our host actually lets us look at where people are listening from, or at least where their VPN says that. Yeah. Our host is Libsyn, Mr. Libsyn.
Actually, funny story. I was playing with the VPN for a while and listening to our podcasts. And
is that why we were getting?
No. That was after or before. No, it was after we saw some random listens from all over the country, all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, and then I got a VPN and I was like, I placed it in like, I think it was like Finland.
Well, are you sure it wasn't Belgium?
No, it was Finland.
Oh, okay.
I had Finland, and I was listening to it, and I was all excited because like there's someone from Finland listening to us, and I realized it's actually just me. I'm like, anyway,
we had somebody, a regular listener. It was showing up as in Belgium because we had like a hit every single time we released a podcast. We had a hit in Belgium.
It must be.
And I was like, that's got to be somebody's VPN, like,
or someone in Belgium.
Yeah, maybe.
If someone is from Belgium, I just would be so happy.
I would just love because there were a bunch of international hits, and no one internationally has ever reached out to us to say anything.
Right, but they might not. They might not ever.
It's true. We haven't really had a platform conducive for that.
But we're gonna, aren't we, Tim?
Yeah, that was announcement number 2. So in addition to some ideas for things we like to do in the future.
I'll be right back. Keep going.
All right.
Yep, I'll be right back.
Sorry, Seth. This is just part of what happens when Just yeah, keep the camera over here, I guess. Did he put that microphone into the shot?
A little bit.
Oh my gosh. Hang on. Just amateur hour over here, guys. Was that better?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Anyway, so I don't even remember what we were talking about. Oh, so in addition to trying, seeing if we can do this video podcasting on a regular basis, maybe we'll create a YouTube channel for that. We are probably going to be moving the podcast over. This is not going to affect anyone who listens on Apple or Spotify, but it's just news for us, really. Probably going to move the podcast over to Substack. I am actually launching a Substack personally. It's going to be called Reclaiming the Narrative, and it's going to be this same exact kind of idea. We're going to be talking about just a way to write about Bible stories. So a lot of the things Justin and I have explored on the podcast will probably make their way into that Substack. But it will also allow us to have a dedicated web page for the podcast. So we'll have an actual website address. So if you want to go find out and actually scroll through and look at some of the episodes and things, you can do that. And you don't have to be on Spotify or Apple necessarily to find us. It'll be an easy place, an actual web address for the podcast where you can find out everything you need to know about it.
I'm really excited for it, actually.
Yeah, and we'll have more information as we release that when that launches. This episode probably is not going to come out until after
the New Year's, probably.
The New Year?
Yeah, we'll probably record a couple more, so we have a buffer.
Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, I guess we are almost at the end of the year.
It's mid-November.
You're right. It is.
Middle of rut.
Anyway, the plan is to launch the Substack December 1st. So this will not have been, or that will be in the past by the time this goes. I can't talk about future
You want
events.
to record? You want to deliver this before that?
No, I don't want to deliver it before it, but I want to deliver it somewhat
Around
close
the same time?
to,
Let's
so
do it.
that we're making the announcement.
Let's
Because
do
we
it.
have
Yeah,
those
let's do it.
recorded anyway. All right, there you go.
We're having a planning meeting.
I
Same
remember
time.
Seth can't decide who to put the camera on when Justin keeps shouting over me, like at the same time, or when I keep talking into his sentences. So, believe it or not, Seth, we've done this 100 times before, but
Well, technically 99. This is our 100th.
that's true. Yeah, well, technically, I guess it depends on what you call an episode, because we've released a couple of like, here's 5 minutes of an update for everyone, and I didn't
Yeah.
include those as like podcast episodes.
Yeah. Did
So it's like-
did you include those? You did not.
No, I mean,
Oh,
we
okay.
have like, if you went to like Spotify, you would find like 102 or 100, or
So we're lying?
no, it's just those are not
I'm
episodes.
just kidding.
All
I
right.
get it. Infuriating, isn't it?
It is, because I feel like you switch very quickly from like genuine question to disingenuous question.
Exactly.
And my brain doesn't switch that quickly.
Makes
So
it
I go
much
from
more fun.
answering your questions genuinely and continuing to answer genuinely when we're long past the point of that being necessary.
Yeah.
I am shaking this mic with my elbows. So I'm going to need to tuck them in a little bit here, I
I
think.
will say this: you seemed in the beginning. You're much more comfortable now, but in the beginning you were very self-conscious looking. You were very.
Was
like,
I?
Oh yeah, you didn't know what to do with your hands.
I wasn't sure with all of this. Well, you know what else has happened since then?
What?
You stopped derailing the introduction.
Oh.
And the tension kind of
you
usually
get tense
ends
when I
up-
do that?
Oh, 100%.
Oh.
I mean, come on. We've done this
Yeah,
100 times.
you're
You're very
right.
aware. That's the reason you do it.
It's why I do it.
Yeah, you know it like, makes me pull a muscle in my neck every
Yeah.
time. So
That's why you have. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
that's why I have the thing that I have.
Yeah.
All right.
It's-
Yeah, no, we're just
This
okay.
is
So
great.
what else? So,
What more?
well, did you have like a favorite episode we've done? Like
Oh.
just a specific favorite or a favorite story?
Melchizedek. I want to go back to that.
Oh man, I completely forgot that.
I want to go back to Melchizedek. I want to I want to open that up. I want to have someone on the podcast tell us like the deep, dark, crazy of the Melchizedek stories.
You know what's really funny is like we didn't prep this, so I just
No, this is
said,
off the
"Yeah, we'll
cuff
talk
right
about
now.
it." But in my head, you were gonna say your favorite story, and I was gonna like recall 100%. Like
Yeah.
how we talked about that. I have very little memory at all of what we actually discussed when we talked about Melchizedek, because there's so many different directions you can go with
That's
that.
why I like it.
And so I don't remember which one we did.
Here's-
So like my recap is not going to be useful.
Somebody said something once that struck me, and it kind of fits for this too. Do you remember Ian Carroll when he came
Yeah.
to speak? Great guy, Irish guy, has a great
Lives in
ministry
Chicago,
thing going
right?
on. Chicago or L.A. or some Chicago. He was in Chicago, but didn't he move? I thought he moved to California. It doesn't matter. What, San Diego? San Diego. Okay, sorry. Not that he's watching. But San Diego, and he said something about thin spaces. That like he would. There's certain places, and there's these thin spaces between heaven and earth, kind of thing,
Yeah.
right?
Where the reality
is
like,
I feel like in scriptures, there's points in the Bible that you can go straight to, and you're like, Pauline epistles we talked about earlier, very clear, just kind of robust. You can go there as an academic. You can go there as a layman, and you can go there as even a prophet, and you get kind of the same bulk information. But then you go to other stories like Melchizedek, where it's like kind of wide open, and it kind of feels like a thin space or a thin veil, because you're like, on the other side of this is something much more. There's so many revelations in this. There's much more to this than just the face value of the story.
Yeah.
And
So
the
if you're
commentary
not
around it.
if you're not familiar with Melchizedek, if you didn't listen to that episode, or that's, I mean, because it is a little obscure. Like, you can tell the story of the Bible without talking about Melchizedek. But Melchizedek first shows up in Genesis as a priest king, who interacts with Abraham, and it's really not that interesting in the grand scheme of things in Genesis. You know, it's just kind of this guy. He comes and he blesses Abraham.
Yep.
But he's this king, but he's also a priest. And there's something that seems kind of like, oh, okay, and you kind of shrug at it, but then he kind of keeps showing up in the biblical story. He just gets referenced, and it's like, man, this guy who was in a 2-second interaction with Abraham keeps showing up. But this idea of like the priest king becomes a theme when we start talking about Jesus.
Isn't he in the order of Melchizedek? Isn't that?
Yeah, he is a priest in the order of Melchizedek, who was, a priest, but outside of the, well, number one, like, so God institutes the priesthood after the Exodus, right? So like the people of Israel get led out of Egypt, they get led to Mount Sinai, and they get established as a people. And it's at that point that God institutes the priesthood. They get rules, the regulations, and protocol for the way that they are going to help Israel worship. But Melchizedek lives, centuries before this. He interacts with Abraham. And so he's not part of this priestly line, which all comes from Levi, right? From Aaron, Moses' brother, like his son, that's his line.
Yeah.
Is where the priesthood comes from. And Melchizedek is outside of that line.
Yeah.
And then, so when the author of Hebrews is talking about Jesus, he says he's a priest in the order of Melchizedek because he's outside of like the Jewish, because Jesus was not a descendant of Levi. He wasn't,
Right.
he wouldn't have been legally allowed to be a priest in the Jewish customs. And so there's been all sorts of questions about, like, because the author of Hebrews is not trying to make the point that, like, or who Jesus' blood relatives are. He's trying to make a very theological point.
Yeah.
And so the question is, well, who is this Melchizedek character that he's so important that you would say Jesus is modeled after him?
Right. And it kind of feels like, for me at least, and I know there's probably Hebrew or Israeli history to this, or Hebraic history to this. I guess that's the way you'd say Hebraic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, it makes sense. I made it up.
I don't think you did.
I didn't make it up, but I made it up in my own head because I didn't hear it before. Anyway, so it feels like, how the Trinity existed before time, before man was man, like Father, Son, Holy Spirit was one. That could be a whole series right there, by the way. But that Melchizedek seems to be in the same kind of token, like existed before there's institutions of priesthoods, like you just said. Like, I love those pieces of the Bible. Like, we can go, I mean, a lot of podcasts go after the Nephilim stuff, and they talk about that, the fallen angels and all that stuff. And that's fun. That's a great conversation. But in my mind, I'm like, those are already kind of beaten like a dead horse at this point. And they usually all go to aliens, the Illuminati, or something.
Really?
And they're really fun to listen to because there's some really wild rabbit trails people like to go on. But in my mind, I'm like, what is like the Melchizedek thing for me connects more to the Trinity in a sense of like it existed before we know. And there's not a lot written about it. And what is written about it connects straight to Jesus. Like it's a beeline to Jesus. If you look through scriptures, Melchizedek literally is always pointing right to that point that you just brought up in Hebrews, where it talks about Jesus being the priest. And I would rather spend much more time on that kind of thing. The Trinity, what that is, how it's viewed in all sorts of cultures, and that Melchizedek, other cultures, how they view him. I'd love to hear a Russian Orthodox priest tell us all about Melchizedek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know I'm going to learn 18,000 new things that day.
Seth, do you know any Russian Orthodox priests? Oh,
I did meet a Coptic Christian the other day, though.
Really?
Very excited to call him, maybe ask him some questions, or maybe connect us to somebody else.
How did you meet him?
He was at my house. We had some friends here. Matt Spinks.
Okay, so he came with. He
Matt
was
Katie
introduced
Spinks.
through a friend.
Yeah, no. They came to speak here, and an old friend from Vermont moved to Columbus, and they just like 3 days before our conference here. And I reached out to her because she reached out to me because we kind of, oh, you're not far. Hey, she used to work at the same summer camp.
Okay.
Christian summer camp, Bible camp, whatever it is. And she was there and like, hey, come on over, meet my family. And she was married, bring her husband, like, let's go. And actually she's expecting. They have a baby on the way, which is awesome. But she came, and her husband is from Egypt, and he is a Coptic Christian, from what he told me.
Cool.
And I was like, I want to hang out with you so bad right now. Like this conference is great, but I want to hear more about you.
Yeah.
And it didn't end up happening, so I'm kind of hoping that does pan out. But anyway, all of you said, I think we should be running after some of these perspectives and the current hermeneutics. Right? Am I using that term right?
I mean, hermeneutics is like the interpretation of the text.
Perfect.
So, like, yeah,
And how you interpret it and what's
how you
through
get
what
to
lens.
how you get to your interpretation.
Sure,
of the text is
okay.
basically what hermeneutics
Yeah,
is.
so I'm all about trying to figure out the other lenses we can figure out on some of these scriptures because there's so much there. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking, should I say?
Yeah.
I think my favorite one that we did, or what I'm finding at least, a story that keeps coming back in my brain, is Jonah. When we talked about the weed in chapter 4 in Jonah, the plant that grows up out of the ground, and the fact that Jonah is a satire. The book is meant to be kind of this scathing repudiation of the way Israel felt about its enemies.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's just a biblical topic or virtue that I always want to explore more is radical forgiveness, or God's like scandalous love being more wide-reaching than we expect or even want it to be.
Yeah.
Because the final verse of Jonah, right, is God telling him like, you're devastated that this plant died, but you're mad that I didn't kill hundreds of thousands of people.
Weird.
Yeah, but it's just like Jonah is the hero of the story, right? If you're just reading it straightforward, like Jonah is he's the
prophet. He's the man of God.
He's the Israelite prophet. He's the guy who makes things happen, and then we get to the end of the book, and what happens is Jonah's mad. He's mad, and he actually tells God, "Just kill me." Like basically, is the last thing Jonah says in the book is, "Just go ahead and kill me, God." And God's response is basically like, "Shouldn't you long for like forgiveness, for your enemies or whatever?" Yeah. And yeah, to me that's so funny because like the story is when we talk about Jonah, we talk about the whale, right, or the fish.
Well, that's
Everyone
the most
talks
interesting
about,
part for a 5-year-old.
and for everybody,
And for everybody else,
but
yeah.
everybody thinks of Jonah and the big fish, like Jonah and if you mention Jonah,
Yeah.
Like even like from a pop culture, or people who know
Jonah
have
the
like
whale.
people who are Christian adjacent know that Jonah was swallowed by a whale or a big fish or something.
I love that people argue that. By the
Yeah,
way.
whether or not
It's
it
so
was,
much
it's
fun.
not. The Bible says fish, not whale.
Yeah.
But that is so
So
like
it's jellyfish?
It's so the least interesting thing that happens in
Right?
Jonah, right? So, yeah, and so to me that was really fun to dig into and explore and just talk about again the idea that the love of God, that we're actually not comfortable with how big God's love is. In fact, it kind of is annoying to us, at the least, how much God loves people that we can't stand.
I love that you said that. So ever since we started this podcast, and this might go on a tangent here, but that's okay because we're here for that, right?
Sure.
I've gone on some crazy journey the last 4 years, theologically speaking, where I was kind of like not sure. I still am not sure about anything, but the questions I'm asking are different now. Where like, how good is God's love really? How much better is it than I thought? And starting to really kind of like chip away at that. It's leading me some really crazy places I never thought I'd go. You know what I mean? Like there's things I'm thinking now that I'm like, I don't know if that conviction I thought I had is really a conviction or if it's just culture pushing down on me something. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think that's so to me, Jonah is a great precursor. The story of Jonah is a great precursor to the story of Jesus because Jesus shows up and the people who should be the most excited to see Jesus, the scribes and the religious leaders who have spent their lives praying for and yearning for Messiah, go to war with Jesus because he keeps inviting people in that they don't think should be included.
Right.
Like over and over again, he is spending time with, he's breaking down the walls that they have set. And, you know, they put up these walls because Israel has had a habit of, doing awful things over and over again. And they're trying to prevent that they don't want to go into exile again. And so they're like, well, we need to be distinctly Jewish. And so we need to observe Sabbath. We need to eat kosher food. And we need to make sure that we're all circumcised, like that we're following all of the strictly Jewish things. And Jesus came along and just associated with everyone who wasn't doing those things. Spent time with them, loved them, made them feel like they were perfectly acceptable, even if they were not doing those things. And it was scandalizing. And like to me that like Jonah's this foreshadowing moment where Jonah's on a hill and he's like, you took away the shade, like after sparing these, I came here because I wanted to watch you rain down fire on my enemies. And instead you forgave them. And so it would be better for me to die than to watch them be saved.
And that kind of leads into like, at least personally, theologically, it's like you're always if what Jesus was doing was taking everybody that was wrong to take right by the standard, and then Jonah, like you just said, was hoping for the death of many because of their sins. Like it feels like this retributive.
Did you say retributive?
Retributive. Is that a word?
Seth says yes. I don't think I've ever pronounced it out loud before.
I'm trying, Tim.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
It feels like the tone of retribution that is in these stories. It's proving a point, and it's not just those 2 points. It's not just the general Jesus, how he treats people and does things, or just that one story. It's constant throughout Scripture. This notion that you shouldn't be the one, but you are. Like even David, you shouldn't be the one, but you are. Right. Like going through each story, you could probably make it happen. Rahab, right? And the idea that we're now in where it seems like we're still in a culture, at least Christian culture, where we're coming up against the wall of you're not doing it right, or you're not who you should be yet. Right. You like you said yes to Jesus. Now be like me. I'm not Jesus, but be like me.
Yeah.
right? And it's kind of like this idea of like, oh, you got to get plugged into those churches, 'cause
Yeah.
da-da-da. And in the culture that I was raised in as a Christian, because I those of you who don't know, I came to Christ later in life after I've had a bit of a life before. I noticed that there was a lot of like, okay, follow Jesus, but also you got to kind of assimilate to this culture and be the Republican American Christian, whatever that looks
Dress
like.
a certain way, vote a certain way,
Right.
speak a
Like,
certain way.
Your hair can't be long anymore. And they didn't, no one said it outright, but it was like lemmings running off
Well,
a
yeah,
cliff.
like if you walk into a church on Sunday morning, everyone looks a certain way, and if you don't look that way,
Right.
people are going to be
They'll-
wondering what your deal is.
they don't know what you're all about. And what I love about it is like, if you keep going back to the very essence of what you just said, you're gonna keep questioning why, right? Like why do I have to be this particular kind of person? And I think what Jesus is kind of showing us is like, I already accepted you before. Like I already the day you were born, you're accepted.
Yeah.
You're part of this already. And I think we don't get a chance to talk about that much as Christians, where we say the day I said yes is the day that he accepted me. It feels like that's kind of the tone,
Yeah.
but it's actually much different than that. And
Yeah.
that's not how Jesus looks at us, right?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of
Or
it is that, we believe, okay, you've accepted Jesus and now you want to conform to the image of Jesus.
Yeah.
But the idea that we have of that is only like, well, whatever people who live in my corner of the world who are in my same socioeconomic bracket
Right.
look like,
Right.
what they look like when they look like Jesus.
Yep.
We would think everybody kind of needs to look that way. And I
Right.
think what we've found as we've gone through a lot of these stories is that God just keeps using all the wrong people. Like
Yeah.
in these stories, like people who don't ever fit in that mold.
Right.
And the people who were like trying to be faithful, like God keeps picking people that they never would have picked. And so like they're always, it seems like, man, these Israelites or whomever, they're always bucking against what God decides. And it's like, well, yeah, because God keeps picking people that make no sense.
Yeah, I mean,
like you
even-
and I, we do this, and that's kind of
We do it.
when we try and apply it. It's like,
Yeah.
when we go, if you look at, for those of you who are listening, if you want to get into the weeds of it, like look at your elder boards at your church. Like, who are they made up of? Are they made up of the most successful,
Right.
like people from a earthly perspective?
And we're
Like, are
not
those
bashing those
populate?
people, by the way.
No, but like we pick and well, those are the people who should be making decisions for us.
It's a model.
But if we read scripture, like
Right.
if we let God pick the elder board, it
Yeah.
would be the people who would make us deeply uncomfortable.
Yep.
Who would be sitting up there.
Yeah. So are you saying we should kick you off the elder board then?
Probably. Yeah. Are you saying that I look like very successful from an earthly
No,
perspective?
but it goes back to what you're saying. Like it's the Jesus takes the unexpected and and does something. Someone actually recently said something to me in my personal walk in this weird journey I'm on right now. Like how surprised or how excited or what would your emotions be if the person, instead of, and this is a kind of not colloquialism, but like a anecdotal bit. It was not like, St. Peter has a gate, you know what I mean, in heaven. What if it was Judas there waiting for you and he was welcoming you in? Like, we have no idea
Yeah.
that depth of what he's doing at this point in time. And the unexpected,
Yeah.
it's willing to.
Yeah. What we
willing to
know is
bet.
that God's love is always surprising.
Yes.
And so, like, to kind of make decisions as far as, well, we know God would never
Judas
accept
is not
this
allowed.
person. Yeah.
But-
It's danger. What I've found, at least with these Bible stories, is it's dangerous to put limits on what God can and will do.
Right.
So,
I love that about this. That's
No.
why it's such good news. Because we don't even know how good it is.
yeah.
That's literally it. Because I remember coming in and being like, oh, I remember the parable of the workers in the field, right? The first 9 o'clock in the morning, goes to work. Here's a denarius, whole day work. And you know the story. It
Yeah,
goes through
everybody gets the
each
same.
hour, each 3 hours, everything the same pay. Finally, the last guy shows up, works 15 minutes, gets the same pay. And it's like, what the heck, man? And I used to think I was late.
Yeah.
I'm realizing now I've lived a little longer. I've lived a longer life. No, that's not true. I'm coming up on living half my life with the knowledge of who Jesus is.
Mm-hmm.
Like knowledge of like, oh, he's that good.
Yeah.
He's good enough. He's so good. He wants me.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm like getting to this point in my life, like he's so good. What? Like this is so much better than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
And the good news was what pulled me in.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that I didn't even know how good that news really was. And it keeps getting better.
Mm-hmm.
That unexpected love that we didn't think we even could do that even could do XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing.
Yeah, and that
all of
story, the parable that you mentioned, is exactly what we've been talking about, right? It's that the laborers who are there first
Yeah.
begrudge the fact that the owner of the plantation treats the latest employees as well as he treated them. Like they begrudge his goodness towards their other employees.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we talk about so much of our faith is we begrudge it when good things happen to people that we don't think put in the same amount of energy or sacrifice or time, that we have put into
Yeah.
an attempt to be faithful. And so then we begrudge it when God blesses those people or accepts those people.
It's crazy how quickly we can get jealous on that too. Right? Have you ever seen someone in your life where they started like jumping into what Jesus was doing, and you're like, how, like, and you see them just get like platformed, or you see them like just getting so much more growth in a certain area that you're like, I
think I've definitely been in a spot where I've wanted to, like in my head, I'm saying, pump the brakes, buddy. Like,
Right,
like,
yeah, sure.
not necessarily because something good's happening, but they're so eager and they're so excited about it. And I'm like, you got a ways to go before let life beat on your faith a little bit
let's
before
get,
you start, earn
vain.
some stripes.
Is it vain? Is the word vain for this one? No.
As far as
Jaded is the word I'm looking for.
oh yes,
Yeah, sorry,
being
jaded,
the
jaded,
cynical,
yeah,
the cynic in me
yeah.
is like, okay, you're excited, we get it, you're new, but you don't know enough to really be. Seth used the expression before we started about people knowing enough to be dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I can be cynical some ways with some. I'm like, okay, like you haven't studied this or thought enough about it to be shouting from the rooftops what you're shouting, and that's me putting walls, like gatekeeping.
Yeah.
In ways that I
those
probably.
guys. When I was like 20 years old, and I just all I could do is like just read. I had a King James Bible from Walmart. That's all I read. King James.
I've memorized a good amount of King
I'm
James
like,
when I was a kid.
I don't even know half this means, but it feels good. What's going on? And I remember like getting so excited and go to these prayer meetings and go to these Bible studies and I'd get these guys, like 2 or 3 of them every time I'd get to a group of 10 or more. I'd be like, kid. It was fun. It was a good time.
Relax.
I love those people. Yeah.
I try not to say those out loud. I try to just keep it into my head so that only Jesus knows how terrible
you're
of a
more
person
Midwest. I was from the East Coast. Everyone.
Oh,
says
that's true.
Everyone said what they were thinking.
Sure.
No one held much back there. They just said, Justin, sit down.
Yeah.
Shut up.
So, all right. So if you've made it this far listening, like I think Justin and I really want to say we're just grateful.
Are you rapping?
I am. I was going to. Because we're over an hour at this point. So,
Well-
and I don't know how long you've got left on these cameras, but
We got time, Tim. We got time, man.
you see what I have to deal with.
He's doing it too at this point.
I know, but he's also over there like rubbing his eyes a little bit. Like he's been up.
All right. Well, we can rap. That's fine. We can do that.
All I was going to say is that I want people to know, if you've been listening from the beginning and you're still listening, we're very grateful for you. And we don't do this because we, have a massive platform that needs to hear our voices, but it is very like it's the reason we do it is because we know that there are people out there who have listened and like have told us that they appreciate what we have to share.
Yeah.
And so we're grateful for that. And we're hoping that, you'll follow us kind of as we pivot with some things, whether that's watching us on YouTube instead of listening on Spotify, or whether that's finding the Substack. What?
We have to start a YouTube channel, don't we? This is the beginning of that.
Well, sorry, I guess I said that you slipped out of the room earlier. I
heard it. I heard you. No, I was just over there.
Well, you just made it sound like there was a light bulb.
Well, I just realized like
Other
that's
than
the
the
thing
one-
we have to do. Like I know you talked about it, but I'm like logistically now like, we have to actually start a channel. That's fun.
Yeah, it should be. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
I don't know.
I've
Anyway,
never started a YouTube channel before.
I'm really
so.
excited for this too. I think that we're gonna have a good time. I need an outlet to be under your skin, so this is perfect for me. I think that this is the best possible opportunity for that. Also, I think we should have a goal. I'd like to put a goal out there for us.
Okay.
I know this is not going to make a lot of money, if any, for any of us, or it will not do much in terms of giving us leverage in certain places in life. Like, some people start podcasts, like a financial advice podcast. And
Sure.
they're looking for a job later on or something.
There's so many caveats. I just really want to know where you're going.
Well, give me
the
a
goal.
minute. Give me a minute. It's late. Okay. But the point I'm trying to make is I think we should have a goal and not make it be a fiscal goal or a viewership goal, but something that like maybe an episode. How many episodes can we do this year?
Oh, so when you
Or-
said I think we should have a goal,
Yeah.
you don't actually have like a specific
No,
thing,
I'm
and
trying to
you're
do
saying,
it with you.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You want us to set a goal right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were going to say, I think we should have a goal. This is the goal. Like,
No,
gotcha. Okay.
No, I'm just
Sorry.
thinking out loud that I'm like, we should
tracking with
really.
you.
I'd like to have a goal. There's a really good podcast I listen to every so often. It's the James McCann Catamaran Plan. James Forbes McCann Catamaran Plan.
That is a mouthful.
It's a great podcast. It's just this man who's a comedian, and he has a microphone and a very low budget thing. He'll sit in a closet or he'll go sit in a hotel room because he travels. He's a comedian, and he will. The whole point of the podcast is he wants to raise enough money to buy a catamaran. He wants a boat,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
and so it's the whole shtick is that. And I'm not saying we want to buy a boat. We can't
Yeah.
do that. I'm not saying we can do, but we should have a goal in mind. And I like the fact there's a stated goal in his podcast.
like, so would our goal be like for us to like put out a certain number of episodes,
think-
or are you thinking like for us to reach a certain amount of people? Like what?
I think the first goal should be this year. I'd like to release one podcast per week. So 52 podcasts this next year.
Really?
I'd like to.
Okay. Well, that is a goal.
I'd like to.
That would mean we would have to quintuple the number of episodes we did this year.
Well, this
Next
year
year.
was an awful year for podcast making, but I think now that we have this place here,
Mm-hmm.
and if we can get, I mean, we don't have to do video every time.
No, yeah.
Anytime Seth's available, we can do it, right, Seth?
Well, I think in order to make that happen, we would have to like stack some episodes, obviously.
Yeah.
So, but Seth, I love that you're just in the middle of this very like on air brainstorming session.
It's the way I
we're
do
having.
things.
I know it.
Yep. You've done this.
I
quite a
love
lot.
you.
I love you too.
So I'm aware.
So yeah. Anyway, that could be the one. It could be a different goal. That's shot off the hip. I didn't think about that before.
I mean, if we hit 80% of that goal,
Yeah.
I would be supremely impressed and ecstatic.
So let's say 30.
Okay.
Let's make the goal 30.
All right. 30 episodes next year. I'm happy with that.
Okay. 30 goals. 30 goals. 30 goals.
30
30
goals,
bad
that's
hockey season. Only 30 goals.
You're done if you're a goalie or a defenseman.
Yeah. I mean, didn't Werenski make like 24 last year? He had 24 last year.
Who are you asking that to?
Anybody who knows. Seth would know that one, right?
Okay.
Anyway.
I think
I
that's-
really appreciate you guys a lot for being here with us, like Tim said, and I'm really excited about the future. Also, I like specifically some of you that reached out to me and told me that you had moments with this podcast that helped you. So thanks for telling me. It really encourages me. I know it encourages Tim when he hears from you guys too. So
100%. And I think that honestly, that's one of the reasons for moving into Substack
Yeah.
is there is a place in Substack to dialogue.
it's not
about
full
it.
of
So
bots and memes.
that's true.
I bring enough of that to
Yeah.
you.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll have more on that, and you'll be getting just more episodes from us. So, but yeah, episode 100. I'm thrilled to death we made it this far. So
Damn it, we made it.
we did. How dare you? Yeah, I just remembered that I had intended to look up statistics
No.
on and like kind of share that with
No.
people, and I totally forgot and could not even begin
I
to
would
tell
have
you
derailed that so fast.
why.
I don't know. I just don't like it.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, again, thank you all. We love you very much.
Goodbye.